Forgiveness when you have the power. There is a kind of pain. One that does not make you scream, but instead makes you unbearably silent. A pain that forces you to smile in front of people, only to ask yourself at night, why me? Imagine that the person you trusted the most was the very reason behind your breaking. That the hand which once held your fear became the same hand that pushed you into loneliness. Imagine hearing words you never thought would be spoken to you, words whose echoes remain trapped inside your chest for years, long after the moment ended and the people disappeared. We do not suffer only because someone wronged us, but because we never imagined that pain would come from those we loved sincerely. And at some point, the wounds grow silently within you. You learn how to laugh while your heart is exhausted, how to say, "I'm fine," while you are barely standing on the remains of yourself. Then comes the day when everything changes. The day when the one who hurt you returns, or time places them before you again, or fate finally grants you the moment you waited for so long, the chance to respond. You see them weak, just as you once were. You see regret in their eyes, just as you wished 1,000 times before. And suddenly, you realize that now, you hold the power. Here begins the hardest test in a human life. Not the test of patience, but the test of the heart. Because revenge, in that moment, feels incredibly fair. It feels deserved. It feels like the healing you waited years to taste. You can hurt them. You can answer harsh words with harsher ones. You can make them feel the same helplessness that once destroyed you. Everything inside you screams, now it's your turn. But, amid all that noise, a very faint voice appears. The voice of your soul. It asks you only one question. Do you want peace, or do you only want victory? And here, a person finally understands the meaning of forgiveness when one has the power. Forgiveness is not a fleeting act of kindness. Forgiveness is standing before memories that shattered you, before tears you cried alone, before nights you wished someone would simply apologize, and still choosing not to hurt. Forgiveness is swallowing the ache known only to your heart. It is forgiving while remembering every detail, the tone of voice, the look of disappointment, the moment you realized you were no longer as important as you once were. Forgiveness does not mean you were never hurt. It means you were hurt deeply enough to understand that pain should not last forever. Some people forgive not because they are strong, but because they are tired of carrying hatred. Tired of waking up every day with the same heaviness. Tired of replaying old conversations inside their minds. Tired of imagining responses that were never spoken. Forgiveness is the moment you say, I refuse to live as a prisoner of a memory that no longer exists. Believe me. The cruelest thing is not having your heart broken, but watching your heart turn into stone afterward. Some people take revenge, only to realize too late that they lost themselves during the battle. But the one who forgives, is the only one who walks out alive from pain. Do you know what no one tells you? Sometimes forgiveness makes you cry more than revenge ever could. Because when you forgive, you finally admit the depth of the wound you tried so long to deny. You face your weakness, your loneliness, your waiting, your disappointment, and still choose peace despite everything. And in that moment, something extraordinary happens. It feels as though a heavy weight falls from your chest. As if your heart breathes for the first time in years. As if you did not set the one who hurt you free, but freed yourself from them. Forgiveness is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of returning to yourself. To sleep without wishing harm upon anyone. To wake up without carrying an old war inside your heart. To walk lightly, after being weighed down by pain for so long. That is why not everyone who forgives forgets. Rather, everyone who forgives, chooses to live. And in the end, a day will come when each of us is asked a question no one else can hear. When you had the power, what did you do with your heart? Did you make it resemble those who hurt you? Or did you protect your humanity despite everything? And in the next episode, we will come closer to that pain which never appears in pictures, the pain that makes a person seem strong before the world, yet collapse when the door finally closes behind them. Because some hearts do not need an apology. They only need someone to understand them before they grow tired of silence.